Hello there everyone, and welcome once more and for the final time to Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. We have made our way so far through 8 of the 11 stages in the game, and it's taken us not all that long. I think cumulatively maybe just over half an hour. But we have now got to the last 3 stages, stages 9, 10 and 11. And having practiced this for quite a while, we're probably going to double, maybe even triple that, if it goes anything like my practice attempts. With everything else so far in the game, I practiced it maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times before I started recording, but for this final section I've practiced it just once, and it's a nightmare. I'm going to warn you now, I don't like doing this, but you are going to be seeing a lot of quick saving and quick loading in these last 3 stages, because I fundamentally do not respect Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. I don't think the game respects me, and because I am a believer in a mutual standing in a relationship, because it does not respect me, I am not going to respect it. I am going to steadfastly cheat our way through the rest of the game. And that's going to, well, not really start, because this is an intended feature of it, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into this rock, paper, scissors tournament, and we're going to go and win this Petermobile, I think it's called something like that. No, Petermobile, as in like pedal. We're not really going to use it at this point in the stage, Rocky Mountain 2, but we are going to need it for later on. So I have figured out that characters, for the most part, do seem to use the same signs in a rock, paper, scissors match. So in this case, if we go it straight away, it goes scissors, but if you delay it for just a little bit longer, it'll move to paper that you need to use, because enemies do have that sort of roulette that they go in behind the scenes, and that's how they select what they pick. It's been a while since I've been on this stage, because it's spent so long on the next 2 stages. It's horrible. I was convinced that this is going to be the worst that the game was going to get. Nope, not even close. It gets so much worse. But we are going to be making sure that we collect as much money as possible. Again, because we're quick saving and quick loading, it's not really necessary at this point, because we're just going to be using our quick saves instead of our lives. But it's the thought that counts, you know? I'm so glad that that dropkick worked. That eagle isn't really a threat. I'm sorry if I keep cutting out, but my mic's falling over constantly. I don't know what it is, but it's like the weight bearing's just gone. This section is the first point that this stage gets a bit frustrating, a bit scary. And so it's going to be the first time that we drop a quick save down. I wouldn't have done it for the previous frustrating areas in the rest of the game, but because I don't respect the game anymore and I don't care anymore, we're going to drop one down. We're going to wait until that... Oh, that was convenient. That went better than I thought. We don't jump up immediately because that hermit appears. We're instead going to let them teleport away. We're going to make our way up here. These are some scary jumps for various reasons. That eagle flying there. The bridge is destructible as well. And there's a lot of gaps. And now enemies have started to respawn back down here because we went a little bit too high. So we go in quick load. And we try again. Yeah, unfortunately, Rock Mountain 1 was not the only stage to have these teleporting hermits on them. Rock Mountain 2 also has them. I'd say generally, they're a bit more annoying here, if that's even possible. In the last one, they were just kind of scary to have around. In this one, they are genuinely going to get in your way quite a bit, especially as we make our way up higher up the mountain. We are nearly at the top, but even so. Going to grab those last few coins. We kind of want to fake out the enemies that spawn up here by going there. And then we're going to go here. We're going to grab the Petamobile. And we're going to try again, because that backfired catastrophically. What you need to do is you need to basically bait the enemies into falling down, because if you don't, they get in your way. And then you need to use the Pedmobile to fly through that central hole to finish the level. Otherwise, you need to like bounce your way through, but to do that, you need to actually fight enemies, and that's frankly the scariest thing in the entire game. Not platforming, nothing like that, it's just the idea of having to fight enemies. Horrifying thought. There you go. As you can see, the bridge is destructible. Which can be a bit annoying if you slide off here and you're still doing a drop kick, because that slowly wears away the ground you've got to work with. Let him get out of the way. We are now going to go and put down another quick save so that we don't have to do that again. Grab our money. Go over here. Wait for the enemies to drop down. Now they have. We grab the Pedmobile. We're a bit more careful flying it this time around. And we're going to go high because I find that that hermit has a nasty habit of flying up here. We are going to quick save here. And we're going to see whether we do well on this to the sky thing, which is the most infamous level in the game. We're probably not, but we might as well see what happens. Nope. We go. Okay, so the reason that this absolutely mandates a quick save is because, bizarrely, if you fail onto the sky, rather than just respawn at the start of it, you respawn at the bottom of Rocky Mountain 2. A bizarre choice. It's the only stage in the entire game that does something like that. It's a nightmare. So, this is one that we're definitely quick saving on. It's a bit of a nightmare because the Pedmobile's controls are frankly atrocious. You need to be mashing the jump button the entire time. But I find that that's, let's say, not the most consistent. And that if you touch any enemy, you plummet out of the sky and are basically guaranteed to die. It's a horrible level. I can see why everyone's like, yep, this is the worst and most infamous level in Alex Kidd. First time around, I was going through Rock Mountain. I was like, there's no way that it can get worse than this. Nope. It absolutely can. It can get a lot worse. We're just going to have to kind of bash our head against a wall until eventually we make our way through. Part of the problem is the fact that you can't actually trust the Pedmobile to actually go up. It's supposed to go up as you mash the jump button. But as you can see, it just doesn't. Sometimes it just stays still. Sometimes it doesn't go up or down at all. Sometimes I can be mashing the jump button and it still goes down. And you think maybe that's just something to do with momentum. Nope. But luckily, it looks like that we actually had a good run of it that time. It only took us, what, 2-3 attempts? That's way better than the dozens and dozens of attempts it took me the first time around. We're going to pull down another quick save here. I'll be honest, I thought we were going to do significantly worse here than we did. I thought it would take us several more attempts to get through Rock Mountain 2 and into the sky than it did. But no, we got to the final stage. This is the finale of the game. Sky Castle a lot quicker than I thought we would. Now this place is kind of a maze. There's a lot going on here. A lot of different places to go and a lot of different places to be. But having practiced it, I think I know most of the twists and turns. There are a couple of mistakes I made that we're going to have to rectify on this attempt. But for the most part, I had stared at a map for so long before getting to this stage, even on practice map rounds, that I knew where we were going, more or less, from the start anyway. It's also good that we have a Pedmobile with us, because there's a couple of places where it'll come in handy. Now this is a very long stage. It's the only stage in the game, in fact, to require 2 checkpoints and not just the usual 1, because that's how long it is. We are going to be quick saving in a couple of places before checkpoints, but it is what it is. that section, those spikes come down immediately. You just have to run very quickly to make your way here as soon as possible before you get stuck effectively behind the spikes. Now, I like to quick save here. Basically, what you have to do is you need to like run at the right time to jump into the water. But it's a bit tricky with the rats running around as well. It's a bit nerve-wracking, so I do like to quick save. I had a whole different strategy which involved the pedimobile and taking out the rats. It isn't actually required. There we go. Oh, damn it. But as you can see, if I don't go in quick load, it's a long way back, and we haven't even reached the first checkpoint, as you can see, so it's a good thing we have the quick load. I'd hate imagining having to do this on original hardware, I can tell you that much. Now we're going to wait for that rat to disappear. That special chest up there is just full of bombs, so we're not going to worry about them. This section's not that bad, you just do that. This section, we are going to go and get a pedimobile, so we can go and fire some rockets and take those guys out. And then we're just going to go and unequip it. Then we go over here, flick the lever, the spikes come down, give us the height that we need to use to get up here. This section isn't that bad. You just need to jump over the toy soldiers, and you need to do as little as possible, because the longer you stay bouncing on the rubber blocks, the more likely you are to get launched into those spikes up there. It looks like that you want to go down just straight through the pyramid from like here, like at this level, and dig your way through that way. It's a trap. If you do so, the floor will open beneath you and you'll drop into that area below us that had all of those rubber blocks. So we're just going to do this instead. And we're going to pull another quick save here, because this section's also a bit of a fright. Need to run through here, little tap for a jump. This section's a bit scary, but it's just a case of proper timing. We are nearly at the first checkpoint of the castle. As you can see, it's very big. And this is probably the shortest gap between the checkpoints, you know, between the start and then the first checkpoint. I'd say this is probably... Oh, that went better than expected. Let's get this lever and leave before that rat gets to us. And this is actually the first checkpoint of the level. You have this big fall down, all of this long, pretty much not even to the bottom of the level. So if you imagine that all of these rooms are about the same size, we're not even at the bottom of it yet. We're going to put down another quick save here because we are at another checkpoint, but I don't want to waste lives. We technically have plenty of money to do continues with, but again, at this point I don't even care. I'm just going to be quick loading and quick saving. I am way past caring about the sanctity of Alex Kidd's original intent. That's the most nerve-wracking part of this room. It's nothing to do with the spikes down there. It's just the idea of having to run as an enemy and just attack it. Not even having anything to deal with it with. This is probably my favourite part, these next few rooms, because they actually require quite out-of-the-box thinking to progress. You don't want to bother going for that chest, because if you destroy it, it's a nightmare actually getting through it, because it removes a non-rubber location that you're not bouncing off of, so it's a bit of a nightmare getting through the level if you destroy it. You need the running jump to get this lever. You need to immediately jump up here to have the speed and height required to get up to this bit. Bit of a tricky jump, but it's not too bad. This is an interesting area. It took me a while to figure out what you needed to do, but effectively, it's a bit of a puzzle. You need to knock these blocks into the right place to let yourself progress. Yeah, it's just And then you need to be careful not to break them as you go over this way, because if you do not have any way to get the height required to get up here. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this room. I don't know whether it's just the fact that you're jumping up there fast enough that the game can't recognize the fact that you've destroyed the box or whatever. We're going to quick save here. It's not too scary, this like next section, but it's been too long since we quick saved, and it's be quite the trek back if we messed up. Especially because we had to go fight those enemies. Right, we go over here. Like before, we go and trap the enemies in there. We very gingerly go up here because you can just about see the spike behind our money count. This section you got to drop down quickly and flick the lever so that you can go down here. And we are going to save here because the next section's a bit tricky. That bit not so much, but it's coming down here with this rat. They're going to follow us into this room, so we've got to be careful. We take out this robot. We do that. We don't actually need to... I was going to say, we don't actually need to deal with these chameleons. I thought maybe because there's so many of them, and because they're one of the easier enemies to kill, maybe it's a case of you need to like wipe them all out. But in fact, nope. It's a little secret area in the corner of the room. So we're not going to dive all the way down this time. We're instead going to come across here. We're going to dive kick. We're going to fall down here. Make our way over the lava. This section isn't so bad until we get out of the water, because then we have to, God forbid, actually fight some enemies. And again, with how measly Alex Kidd's attacks are, that's the scariest part. That's the scariest thing the castle can throw at us, is the idea that we might actually need to fight an enemy. But there we are. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, you can see how stubby and degenerate our attacks are. They just can't get anywhere. We're going to put down a quick save here, because this is a bit of a tight. There's one thing it likes doing from this point on are these very tight escapes from these dropping spike platforms. It gets worse than that. They get a lot tighter than that. I think... No, it's not quite this room yet. I think the next room has a slightly tougher one. Not quite as dangerous, because it's not a... You can just try again, you can leave the room and try again. But similarly very tight. Oh, no, okay. This one you just have to run. The only difficulty is if you're trying to go for the chest. It's this one that you need to be quick with. If we leave the room, I'll see if I can demonstrate. We've got to come up here. We've got to very quickly duck through there. It's a bit tighter than it looks, especially if you haven't done this before. I'll be honest, Alex Kidd's behaving quite well in this run. In previous runs, because he's so slippery, I'd be doing stuff like that all of the time, but maybe it's just experience, who knows. But it's not feeling like it's happening quite as much this time, which is definitely a good thing. I was getting very frustrated in the previous episodes, like, come on Alex, just do what I'm asking you to do, and you just couldn't because you'd be slipping and sliding everywhere. But this isn't so bad. This is manageable. Again, this room's only really tough if you're going for the chest, otherwise this room's tougher. See? There we go, that was a little bit tighter that time. You can see how scary it can be. I don't know whether maybe you can drop kick some of the other blocks, but that's the route I'm taking through it. This section, hurry over, hope that your jumps actually work. I think that despawns the mice. I don't know why this stage in particular causes that to happen, but not really complaining. I'm going to go see what's in this chest. I didn't actually try it last time. There we go, an extra life. We're nearly at the end of it. We're nearly at the final checkpoint of the level. Realise that through all of this, if we had died and we didn't have quick saves and quick loads, we'd be going back to that point that we dropped from the top of the tower right down into that water. That's how distant the checkpoints are in this level. It's a bit of a nightmare. Apparently this is much more what was typical in Alex Kidd in Miracle World, the original game that this was kind of based off of. It's a nightmare here though. Right, I haven't actually stocked up on enough necklaces for this really, but I realised when I went to go and face the final boss that we actually need another item before we can really face him. So we're just going to try our best. We've got plenty of money. You know, if we fail, we just do it again. We need this cape, which gives us invincibility. Beat me at the game, and I'll give you a gift. Bet 200. I think they're bombs, if I remember correctly. The currency in this game, they're called bombs. Or bombs, something like that. Pick paper, rock, or scissors before the music stops. I don't actually know what the sign is for this one. But we got lucky. That's a complete guess. I didn't actually know what he was going to pull off. But we got the cape. We're not going to use it yet. We've got a while to go before we need it. But we just wanted to pick it up while we had the chance. Because otherwise it could get very scary in a moment without it. The game kind of shows you a bunch of different places to go, but in reality you just need to go up here. You can ignore the rest of it. Now, rather awkwardly, if we run in following that toy soldier, the average oftentimes just go in and immediately kill us as we enter the room, so we just had to wait for him to come back to us. And we have, I'll show you, we have reached a new checkpoint. As seen here, we're not all of the way back in that area with the water drop. So we have had a new checkpoint. Probably still going to be... I would say I keep quick loading and quick saving and stuff, but I don't think that's really necessary at this point. There isn't much left of the castle. We are kind of close to the final boss, and there is a reason why that checkpoint is here, because there isn't one specifically for the boss. There's just one for the kind of end of the castle. Oh, okay. I wasn't messing up this jump in my practice, so it's throwing me off a little bit. It's a bit annoying that they walk all of the way out the room, because again, if you follow them in, they are just going to hit you. So you just got to wait for them to walk back in here. It's a bit of a slow march. Kind of got to like edge over that one, just barely, like so. Okay. Basically, I thought I could be smart and kind of go for these blocks. I thought you only really needed to pull that lever if you wanted to go for the route up there, but no, you're going to need to pull it whichever way you're going, realistically. I think now's the point that we want to be putting on our necklace, I think. I think it's about here. Let's see. Oh no, I think you've got one more room. There we go. Here's the boss. This is Ashra. He is the final boss of the game. He's also the hardest rock, paper, scissors opponent, because unlike all of the others, who he claims we easily beat, we need to go for 2 rounds with him. Can't quite remember what the order was. I think we're good if we stay on rock. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. He did change. Let's see. I find it's easier to just run for it once the music stops, to be honest. There we go. One more time. And we gotta go again. Oh, that was lucky. I was trying to move to another one when it stopped me. I'm not supposed to lose, he claims. I'm going to win no matter what. And then in a terrifying change, all of a sudden, the boss starts firing out actual attacks because, God forbid, there is an actual boss fight in this game. A terrifying thought because Alex Kidd, as we have clearly discovered, has no martial ability whatsoever. Which is why we made sure to pick up the cape for temporary invincibility. Because now all we need to do is run up to Ashra and pummel him in the face with no consequence whatsoever. Before anything bad can happen to us and the cape wears off. You're mean, I want my mommy, he claims. Runs in here without his arms. And there it is. There is our missing father, King Thor. How do you like Paper Rock? Hated it. Horrible place. Nice place to visit, right? No. Exact opposite. I'm so glad I'm going to be out of here. Yes, because as it turns out, the entirety of the events of the game, where Ashra apparently stole our father King Thor, was a fake out. In reality, King Thor's just been, well, king here the entire time. And everyone's actually been working for him. So we didn't actually need to bother going through all of this in the end. Which is a real gut punch, you know? Like, it's bad enough getting a plot twist, but it's particularly bad when it's like, in reality, the whole thing wasn't necessary. Because the game sucks. But how nice that Alex got to meet his father. Honestly, I kinda want the worst for the kid in my practice round, because I was fuming going through all of that. But now that we had a significantly nicer go of it in that last attempt, I'm feeling for the kid. It's good that he's managed to kind of patch up the relationship with his father and between his home planet and this planet. Even if it came at the end of a very, very, very bad game. Just awful. Terrible. Horrible, you might say. But that's the end. That was the finale of Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. I don't think there's anything more to see. Yeah, there's no credits or anything. So, that's it. Yeah, not a great game. I wouldn't really recommend. If you've got the opportunity, I still wouldn't really recommend you bother going out and finding Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. It's ugly. It plays horribly. It's almost certainly very racist. With some of the stereotypes you got of characters, it's almost certainly a bit racist. As you can see here, this is the kind of thing that we would be doing if we had bothered getting items and all the rest of that. But we didn't, because we just wanted to save our money for continues. But yeah, wouldn't recommend it. But don't need to think about it anymore, Alex Kidd, because he doesn't appear anywhere else in the Sega collection we've got. So we can just move on to the next game, which I will show you in just a moment. But what I just want to finish on is saying, I thank you all for watching. I hope that even if I didn't, that you all enjoyed Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. But for now, I am going to say adios and ciao.